BTS news today. Shocking news comes back from the world of K-pop. This time it touched the hearts of millions of ARMY around the world. In the midst of the military service that BTS members are undergoing, an emotional moment shocked the public. Jungkook, the Golden Magne, is known to cry when Jimin, his closest friend, suddenly left without a word. This incident suddenly shocked the virtual world, makes many fans wonder, what exactly happened behind this moving and heartbreaking event? A reliable source said that the moment took place at one of the military training grounds, when the members who were on duty received a special visit. Jimin, who was previously rumored to be coming to meet with Jungkook, really appeared, and yet the meeting lasted very briefly and ended with unspoken feelings. Jungkook seemed to stop his steps, trying to understand something, but in the end he was only able to stand still while his tears fell uncontrollably. What makes a Jungkook, the famous strong, persistent, and full of smiles, was finally unable to hold back his tears? Why did Jimin choose to leave without saying a single word? Is there something they're hiding? Or are there feelings that do not have time to unfold? Behind all that silence, there is a deep story that has not yet been fully revealed, but it began to be smelled by loyal fans who understood how strong the bond between the two friends was. Their meeting, though fleeting, left a deep imprint in the hearts of both. It was evident in the look in Jungkook's eyes as he wiped away tears with the sleeves of his military uniform that Jimin's departure was not something out of the ordinary. The staff who witnessed the incident claimed that the atmosphere became quiet suddenly, like there was an invisible weight hanging in the air. Jimin came, stood up, looked at Jungkook from a distance, then left silently. No hugs, no greetings, just heart-rending silence. The relationship between Jungkook and Jimin has been known as one of the warmest among BTS members. They grew up together in the pressures of a brutal entertainment world, strengthen each other in difficult moments, and show sincere affection for each other. Jungkook often admits that Jimin is one of the most important people in his life. Jimin also repeatedly mentions that Jungkook is the younger brother he always wants to protect. So it's no wonder if that moment of leaving without words makes all those who know their story feel torn apart. What exactly is going on behind that silence? Is there an unhealed wound? Or is it part of something bigger? While those questions continue to loom over the minds of the ARMY, one thing is for sure: Jungkook is not crying over trifles. The cry is the cry of a man whose heart is cracked because of something he doesn't understand or can't stop. Jungkook stood in silence. The atmosphere of a quiet afternoon in the military complex turned into a full load. The footsteps of the soldiers who originally sounded stern now slowed down, like giving space to a personal moment that is happening. They knew something unusual was happening in front of them. Jungkook's gaze is blank, as if through a wall of time, looking for an explanation of the departure of someone who means so much to him. Meanwhile, Jimin is gone, leaving the place with quick steps, but his body was visibly shaking. Surveillance cameras that accidentally recorded the moment showed that before leaving, Jim lowered his head for a moment. Maybe he wanted to say something. Maybe he wanted to look Jungkook in the eye longer. But in reality, he chose to silence himself, leaving the taste lock. It was so fast, but it was enough to destroy Jungkook. As usual, he didn't hide his emotions. Her tears simply fell, like a dam that had broken after holding the pressure for too long. His colleagues tried to approach, but Jungkook only shook his head slowly, as if he wanted to be left alone. He covered his face with his hands, trying to drown out the increasingly deep sobs. Jimin's sudden presence has surprised many parties. Even the fans didn't know that Jimin was coming. Everything is secret, quiet, and closed. No official news, no notice in the fan base. Only a handful of people in internal circles knew that Jimin had asked permission to meet Jungkook, just for a few minutes. What makes it all so painful is, he didn't say a word. A few days later, this news began to spread. ARMY from all over the world wondered. Some are angry, disappointed, and of course sad. Why did Jim leave? Why should Jungkook cry alone in a place that is supposed to be a symbol of strength and constancy? The internet is flooded with speculation. Some say that they quarreled. There are also those who believe that Jimin has something that he cannot reveal directly. But most of the ARMY just cried, "I feel the pain of the two people I love so much." There is a theory that Jimin is hiding his health condition. Since a few months ago, some fans have noticed changes in Jimin's body and facial expressions. He looks thinner, and his characteristic smile no longer appears as often as it used to. Could Jimin come to say goodbye because he doesn't know when he'll see Jungkook again? Or maybe Is he afraid he won't have time? But not a few believe that their emotional connection is so deep, words are too small to represent feelings. In silence, they understood each other. In tears, Jungkook, there was a message that only Jimin could understand. And perhaps, in Jimin's silent departure, there was a sincerity too deep to speak. One of the army wrote on social media. We may not know what really happened, but Jungkook's tears weren't just tears. It was a message from the heart of a brother who was left without a hug, without speech. And it hurts. A few days after the incident, Jungkook did not appear in official military documentation. Usually, he becomes part of the photos of routine activities or exercises. This time, not a single photo showed her. Reportedly, he asked for time to be alone. He chose to keep doing his job, but did not want to be highlighted. He closed himself, did not talk much, and was more often alone in a corner of his dorm room. A military colleague who did not want to be named said that the night after the incident, Jungkook sat for a long time by the window. It does not sleep, just staring at the night sky. It's like waiting for someone, said the partner. But the man did not come back. Support from the army continued to flow. The hashtags #StayStrongJungkook and #ComebackJimin are trending globally. Hundreds of thousands of messages of support filled social media. They know that this is no ordinary moment. It is part of the emotional journey of two best friends who have gone through everything together. From stage to stage, from dream to dream, until finally having to deal with a military reality that limits everything. Shortly thereafter, Big Hit Music issued a brief statement. They did not explain in detail what happened, but they confirmed that Jimin did make a personal visit to the military site where Jungkook served. They asked for privacy and understanding for the personal feelings of their two artists. But for the army, the statement only reinforces curiosity and the desire to know the truth behind Jimin's silence and Jungkook's tears. Jimin did not post anything on social media after the incident. Instagram, Weverse, and other platforms remained silent. No sign of him, as if he really wanted to disappear. This adds to the army's wounding. Because they feel, if Jimin chooses to remain silent in front of Jungkook, at least he can explain to fans why silence should happen. As time went on, this story turned into a memorable one. The moment became a symbol of the depth of love, friendship, and injuries that do not always have to be explained. Army from various countries even create murals, digital art, and poems in memory of this moment. They don't just see Jungkook and Jimin as idols, but as two human beings who are struggling to understand life, feelings, and time that continues to run. A few weeks later, a person claiming to be a close friend of Jimin appeared in an unofficial interview. He said that Jimin was in a very fragile psychological condition. He didn't want to show his weakness in front of Jungkook. That's why he chose to remain silent. He is afraid to open his mouth, he'll cry. He was afraid to make Jungkook more worried. So he chose to go with the pain that he had hidden himself. And from there, the public began to understand that the moment was a painful form of love. A love that cannot be expressed in words. A love that must be paid for with tears. Jimin went not because he hated. He left because he loved too much.